You have a site or you're considering one and you're ready to build. Or are you? Welcome to part 2, Planning for Success. In this video, we'll introduce the urban planning process undertaken to get a project to the construction phase, so you can understand the task at hand. Urban planning is steeped in rules and restrictions that make what can be built across our cities highly regulated. In response to rising demand for housing and community services, some municipalities are becoming more permissive with new policies, like those that allow high density near transit stations, more mixed-use development, or multi-unit buildings where single-family homes have been the norm. With so many rules in place, the first step of any development project is to find out what is legally buildable on a site through a planning feasibility study. The two preliminary documents for understanding a site are the official plan and zoning bylaw. The official plan provides a general overview of the plan for the area and divides the city into land use designations such as neighborhoods, employment areas, and green spaces, where various uses like housing, retail, or parks are considered appropriate. Have a look at your local official plan. Does your development idea conform to the planned land use? Meanwhile, the zoning bylaw provides a more precise look at the specific dimensions for individual sites that affect the shape and size of your building, like the permitted height and setback from the property line. This information is critical as you can use it to assess whether enough housing units or program space is permitted to make the project viable. If a proposed building fits within the existing zoning, then it can be built as of right without a public hearing or vote at City Council. However, if a building differs significantly from what the city has planned for your site, then more expensive and time-consuming amendments to the official plan or zoning bylaw are necessary. Your organization will be responsible for making key decisions in the development process. Your consulting team will require an architect and engineer, as well as planning, landscaping, transportation, and legal experts to support more complex projects through the development process. Ultimately, the city will decide the extent to which a project conforms to provincial and municipal planning legislation and policy goals. Based on this assessment, they will provide a list of reports that must be compiled for your planning submission. If all goes well, you will receive a building permit required to begin construction. Now, neighbors can seriously impact municipal decisions and approvals for a SPRE project. All manner of SPRE projects, from daycares to shelters, have faced opposition from neighbors and community groups. Common resident concerns can relate to building height and the resulting shadows, impacts on local traffic and parking, changing levels of noise and on-street activity, or fears of elevated crime. Many of these fears are either unfounded or can be mitigated through proactive planning. But nevertheless, SPRE projects can become flashpoints for controversy and community divisions that may result in project approvals being denied. While there is no single strategy to overcome community opposition to SPRE projects, meaningful, early, and frequent engagement with the local community and city staff is key. By listening carefully in consultations, legitimate concerns are identified, and you can then attempt to mitigate them where possible, without undermining the overall mission or financial viability of the project. Still, some degree of opposition is likely to remain despite your best efforts. Consultations also give you the opportunity to inform the community on the necessity of the project and why this site is the right place for it. Organizations with a long-term presence in an area can promote their track record of effectiveness as a service provider and draw on their community relationships to bring about project champions. There are trade-offs with any new development. Change is hard. Planning and getting a SPRE project approved is a lengthy, expensive, and sometimes unpredictable process. Many municipalities are taking steps to ease and accelerate approvals to address the lack of critical, affordable housing and social services. Whatever the case, it's important to be transparent throughout the consultation process and to consult with your local city planner. Before you get to the submission stage, you'll first need to acquire a site, conceptualize your building and its programming, and get your financing in order. We will explore all of this in the upcoming videos. For more information on this topic, see our SPRE resource page linked in the description below.